Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Today, let's talk about learning new things as you get older. Alright, so last week I did a video where I gave advice to someone who wanted to start his career as a software developer at the age of 32. I think it was episode 634. And in it I said, dude, 32 is not that old. And sure enough, a lot of people put in the comments, they started when they were 40s and their 50s, 60s, etc. And basically what I said was, you're not trying to run a 4-minute mile. Of course you can learn to become a software developer at those later stages, right? And a lot of really good comments on that. I think a lot of people agreed, but there was one really very thoughtful comment on that I wanted to address in this video because, you know, it's not so much that it bothered me, but it is one of those things that we have to address, which is your ability to learn at later stages of life. So this one comes from Dragons on episode 634. Dragons says, "This video is nothing more than motivational wannabe. The brain starts to degrade slowly after its prime. Learning and remembering specific things starts to get harder and harder. The brain is an organ, and as any organ in our body, it gets old until eventually starts to give up, like everything else. There is a reason it's called the prime years of human life. Programming can be easy if you want to code the average 3.5-star Android app, but anything past that requires decades of experience and constant learning. There is math, there is IT, there is science, and numerous branches of it. Be realistic, people." Dragons. So it was a very interesting point. And to be honest with you, I've been thinking about this all weekend because, yeah, I've read the articles too. I've read the stories. I've read the science that your brain starts to degrade over time and it gets harder to learn new things as you get older. But fortunately, it doesn't apply to me, right? It's something I choose not to believe for myself because it serves me no good purpose to think that way. And I've known very little people that way of thinking has helped in the past. Yesterday, I ran the Reading Half Marathon, so 13-mile run. I've run it several times in the past, but I haven't been training for it. I have not been out running very often lately. I've been going to the gym more often because as I start to get older, I start working on the muscles rather than the running, right? And my time was not great. It was 2 hours and 12 minutes, but my goal of the run was not the time. It was just, my goal was to not walk.
Okay, terrible running time, but I didn't walk. That was the goal, not walking.
To not stop and walk through the whole thing. Now, and I've run a couple marathons in the past and a few half marathons, several half marathons. And if you've ever run a marathon or a half marathon or something even more strenuous than that I've never even contemplated, you know how after a while it becomes a mental game, right? I think for the last 5 miles of the run yesterday, my brain kept telling me, sure, it'd be okay to walk. You know, it'd be okay to walk. Your muscles are, my legs were just, because I was out of shape, I guess, not running, my legs were just so sore and it was just pushing forward and pushing forward and it was like, don't stop to walk, don't stop to walk. And that little bit in the voice saying, yeah, but you haven't been training. It's not really going to matter if you stop to walk, is it? But I said, no, that was my goal, is I didn't want to stop and walk. And there were times when I was running and there were people walking as fast as I was running, but that wasn't it. I just wasn't going to stop. And I thought, okay, I'll wait till I get to mile 11 and then I'll walk. No, and then I'll wait till I get to mile 12, then I'll walk. Then I'll wait till I get to and it was just constantly my brain trying to shut down and say, this is not going to be possible. Eric, you're not going to be able to do this. But eventually I was able to do it. And this is what learning is like much of the time. Sometimes if you start learning something and you don't think you're capable of learning it, you're going to give up. If you start, as software developers, you know what it's like. If you're troubleshooting a problem and it creeps into your head that it's not possible to solve this, you're going to stop looking for solutions to it. But if you are pig-headed and determined, you're going to move forward and you're not going to accept the limitation that there is no solution to this problem. I've been very good over the course of my IT career where I've been paid really well because people would give up before I would give up when it came to solving a problem. I would still be like, that's it. You know, there's got to be a solution here. What am I missing here? And keep looking for it. And to be honest with you, sometimes I find a solution after I've given up. I'll just throw everything down to, that's it, I give up. I'm just going to call them up and say, look, we can't solve this. This is an unsolvable problem. There are technical things at play here. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back, and I think, I'll just try one more thing. I'll just do one more thing because I know there's a solution out there. I have had people work with me that have said, I think I'm too old to learn this. I think the problem is I'm just not young anymore and I can't learn how to do this. And it infuriates me to no end because it's a limitation. It's a thought that comes up into their head that gets them to stop doing what they're doing because it got hard. And I don't see any benefit in thinking about that. And we all know people who've been able to learn things at later stages. And we know people who have been able to not learn things at earlier stages. We know people who are stupid at 20 and people who are super smart at 60. And I could tell you what, I learned a lot better at the age of 46 than I ever did at the age of 20 because I know what's possible and I'm better at learning. So whatever my mental capacities is, and by the way, I have no mental deficiencies at my age, right? I just don't, right? But even if I did, my ability to learn is far better than it was when I was at the age of 20. It is definitely possible to become a software developer at 32, at 42, at 60. You know, it just is. But what is it they say? You own the limitations that you put on yourselves. And you know what, dragons, I disagree. Okay, maybe for some people they're not able to learn at those later stages, but I'm not going to be one of them, right? It doesn't apply to me because I'm not going to let it apply to me, and it doesn't apply to most of the people who watch this channel, I'll bet. So let me know what you guys think, because this is something I feel a bit strongly about. I'm tired of, you see it all the time. I mean, we all put our own limitations on ourselves. I'm guilty of this too, right? There's certain things that I'm just like thinking, this is too hard for me to learn. And there's other things that I just will not put down because I know that it's possible to learn it, right? Just like that, pushing yourself forward, driving forward. I'm not going to stop moving my legs. I'm just going to think about something else and keep moving forward until I get to mile 12, until I get to mile 13, until I solve this technical problem, until I learn this new skill. I'm just going to keep plowing forward because giving up, I mean, why give up? So anyway, bit rambly today, you know, but that's what this channel is all about. That is it for today. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.